The 14th of August started a fire in Sabugal, about 15 kilometers from Ananda Kalyani. And on the 17th, the fire arrived at our doorsteps. This was the biggest fire this year that consumed 216 hectares of land. And you can see we are in the middle of the fire zone. You can see our three main project operations.
Arriving at Paul, we were totally surprised and unexpected to see the dimension of the fire so close to our main house. And by that time, all the volunteers had already been evacuated for safety to Fundão. Meanwhile, we were there for almost 4 hours. And in those 4 hours, we tried all the routes to try to get to Ananda Kalyani.
No one was allowed to access to their properties. The cops didn't allow us to go through until 1 o'clock in the morning. And then we found a gap and slipped right through the cops' roadblock. We maintained our cool and walked into the darkness, desperately hoping against hope that Ananda Kalyani was safe.
After more than 2 kilometers walking, we arrived to our first property, Quinta do Limite, where some of us live. By that time, we didn't know if we were able to pass by that fire.
The intense fire really put some doubt in my mind at this point. But we decided to go through with the motorcycle anyway. And when we got through the fire the first time, we stopped and had to walk because we did not know how hot the road was. So we started walking on foot to make sure that we are not trapped in the fire. But we managed to get through the first part and we were able to take the curve. As we were turning the curve, the heat, the smoke, the dust and the fire was really blowing in our face. And we just had to get through. And we kept on going. And then we had to come to a second stop, and then we turned around to look around, and the fire was surrounding us 360 degrees. And at this point, we like, hey, let's just go through. We went through and we made it.
Then, when we arrived, we saw the fire coming from 3 sides, east, west, and south. We had 3 fronts, and we needed to choose one. Our guest house were in the middle. And we didn't have so much equipment, so we had to adapt a lot. The cables for the water pump had melted, but finally we were able to get water with the effort of all. And then we started a bit from the top to make sure that it didn't pass the road, and we focused on the caravan park because the fire was really close from the caravans. We try with pipes, we try with buckets, and that fire was constantly coming up. We had 2 more fronts to go, and we were able to manage that one. You can see here, it was coming from the camping. All the tents from the volunteers went away, and we did it. And then we moved forward. You can see here the caravan is done, the caravan park. And then we had the fire that came from the other side of the river, and this one that came from the cherry trees that was putting in danger our main house, Casa Dharma.
And from this moment on, we were putting the fire off wherever it was spreading. And at the same time, we were also maintaining the environment wet so that the fire don't come back again, which has been happening all night in different places. And from the other side where the river was flowing, the camping area was also getting really decimated. And all we could do was just keeping it wet, maximum. And once we saw to a certain degree that we could have this under control, we had to make a decision to go and see our Quinta do Limite, where some of the volunteers were living. And again, we had to take the dangerous decision to go through the fire again. And as we arrived, I was a little surprised that the fire had not already come close to the house. Miraculously, we had the opportunity to wet the grass all around the tiny house, all around the Quinta. And when we felt it was secure, we drove back to our master unit after about an hour, and the fire was still blazing. It was getting closer from the cherry tree. It was coming down now. So we decided to get back into the fire zone again, and we had to go and fight the fire, which was now next to our greenhouse and the food forest. This was already beginning to get daybreak, and the fire was still blazing on all sides.
And after 1 hour, coming back to Quinta do Limite, 3 fires were coming putting in chaos all the infrastructures. So the first one was a tiny house, and we had luck because before we wet all the floor, but even like that, there were some trees burning, the fire was going in other directions, so it was time to extinguish this one and pass by to the yurt, where it was really close and we didn't have water. The yurt even was on fire in 2 points. We were able to put it down with a mat. And when you come back to Ananda Kalyani again, we already have extinguished 2 the fronts, the one from the caravans and one from the cherries, but the one from the other side of the river was still going through our food forest, and that was our last. And then here we can see how was our night, 3 of us all there, and before and after the other volunteers came to help to secure the perimeter and make sure that no more fires were on. And here you can see the panoramic of our property. You can see that we were able to save at least the infrastructures of the 76 acres that both properties have together. We were able to save at least 2 acres where the infrastructures are.
All the terraces from the cherry trees. 500 trees up in smoke. It's our barometer, still moving with the wind. And if you look at the dome, all that area is still green. And we have the opportunity to bring the phoenix up from the ashes.
And in Quinta do Limite, here you can see what happened in the yurt. We're safe and everything around was dark. We had really luck. We had time to take everything from inside and then was spraying. Here is the tiny house. You can see the second front on Quinta do Limite that covered all the west part of the farm. So the fire came from the west, came from the east, and came from the south. Were 3 fronts here and Ananda Kalyani. So yeah, we have to always in the moment decide which one was the priority. And here to finish, we have all the surroundings of master unit from the beginning of our land till the end. And yeah, we can see how it is now.
We were also thinking of how to feed the animals because all the insects and animals all disappeared. And some, we were surprised to see some animals around. So we started also giving food to the animals. And in one of these trips back and forth, we were putting food into the forest area. And we saw some deers and wild boars. So we started also giving them some food along the way. And this food forest is quite lucky that all our infrastructure was not damaged at all, except for a few missionaries that was burnt in the food forest. And many people around were still fighting fire. And we also went to help our neighbors, like Ritambar's place and the tofu factory and Abik's house.
Here you can see the adventure on the day after, where I put my feet on the ashes that were on fire. It was like a fake soil and we didn't know. And yeah, I have 2nd degrees burns on my feet. Now it's better. Here we see we in Ritambars helping him.
This was beautiful to see. After 7 days, the bees coming back to the hive. It's incredible how they survived. They all must have gone to the river to take shelter, but that was the coolest place in the entire environment. And we were really lucky. And now to see that these insects have the resilience, we should also be able to do the same. And here I'm throwing some apples into the forest area where we saw some deers and wild boar. This is the magic land we call Ananda Kalyani, and the plan is to develop this into a sustainable master unit. And we have a mini hostel with 32 beds And we are very, very fortunate to have saved this property, especially the major infrastructure. Our cherry trees got burned, they're all crisp. Now is an opportunity to replant them. And the message is, it's happening worldwide, and it came to our doorstep. And I have been talking about this for more than 15 years to all my friends around the world when I visit them, and I tell them that if we do not develop that mental fortitude, strength and resilience in times of crisis, we are going to be tremendously affected. But because of our mental fortitude and teamwork, we were able to preserve this. Hope you come and visit us one day and support us to rebuild this place. Thank you.